For today's video, we will be unboxing and repainting my Nova doll from Moonlight Jewel. On the side of the packaging here shows the order and more cover art for the box. It's super pretty. Inside is a certificate of authenticity and a keychain. Pulling back the backing B-nuts, we have her feet and the doll itself. She comes with 2 sets of feet and 2 sets of hands. For this repaint, we're going to use her heeled feet instead of her flat feet. She also comes with standard hands and heart hands. Now onto the doll. I got Nova, which is a 4-eyed faceplate. She is articulated to have a full range of motion, and she also has Moonlight Jewel's signature on the back of her head cap. Because she has so many joints, she is very poseable, which I'm really excited for. Now I did pick a very deep skin tone for my Nova, and fresh out of the box she does look a little ashy. I'm going to add a little bit of oil to the skin just to show her true color. I'm just applying it with my finger, and then I'm taking a rub to really soak it into the skin. I just had this peppermint oil on hand, so that's what I'm going to use today. This is just a personal preference. You don't have to do this to your dolls at home. This will cause issues with the sealant if you're trying to repaint the face, so learn from my mistakes and don't do that. But I am very pleased with the oil on the skin. It does make her skin tone look a lot more vibrant. For this doll, I want to focus on her clothes. And I want to make a completely beaded dress. So I have all of these different seed beads, pearls, wire, charms that I'm going to use to make her dress. The first step of her dress is to make a base. I'm going to make the base using Viking knit. Viking knit is a type of wire weaving, so I'm just using some copper wire and wrapping it around this dowel. After I have pulled the Viking knit to make it this thin chain, I'm going to take an armature wire and put it through the middle of the chain. Once the wire is secure, I'm going to cut off any of the sharp bits that are sticking out from the chain. And now the Viking knit is completely poseable due to the copper armature wire. For the shape, I'm going to wrap it around her chest and also her waist. This dress is going to end up being very heavy, so that's why I'm using the wire to become sort of like a support beam for the dress. Once the shape is to how I like it, I'm going to cut off the extra chain and also the extra bit of wire sticking out. The goal for this dress is to make it removable, so that's why I'm testing to make sure that it slides off and on very easily. And with flat nose pliers, I'm just going to curl the end of the armature wire to make sure that the chain doesn't move around anymore. Now this is not a full tutorial on Viking knit, but if you are interested in me showing you how to make a full Viking knit chain, let me know in the comments and I'll be able to make that video soon. So now that the chain sits how I want it to, I'm going to get started on the beading. For beading, I'm going to start off with peyote stitch. For beading patterns, I'm going to be using a freeform peyote stitch, a standard peyote, and a brick stitch. But for now, we're just going to start on regular peyote stitch. This part of the video is not cut and it is not sped up, just so you can see how long it really takes to do each individual stitch. It takes me about an hour to do 1 square inch of beading. Once the first row of the beading was complete, I stitched the beading to the Viking knit. The Viking knit is what is going to hold this whole dress together, so we want to make sure that we stitch very, very securely. I am a very fast beader, so after one day, this is how much beading I did get done. I got most of the top row and then all the way down to establish my length. Now to get a perfect contour, I am stitching directly onto the doll. Her joints are a little tight, so she can't hold a proper pose right now. I will restring her later. The goal for this dress is to make it removable, so there is a clasp on the side, and there will be one at the top of her neck at the end as well. Here I'm stitching the frame of the dress, so like I said, it's a mix of peyote and freeform peyote. Most of the bottom of the dress does wind up being freeform. This is sped up 10 to 20 times speed. All the beads in the background and all the beads that I'm using on this dress are from my stock box. I did not purchase a single new bead for this dress. Previously, I worked in jewelry stores and craft stores, so I have a huge stack of beads. I wanted to tackle a project like this just so I could use up a lot of beads. With how much beading I did, I still didn't even scratch the surface of my stock box. There are still many, many beads left to use. Here is a closer shot of all of the different bead sizes that are going in, and this is 20 times speed. There is absolutely no fabric on this dress, it is just the beads holding everything together. Because this is freeform peyote at the bottom, there is a lot of puckering and bunching, so that's why the dress looks a little wavy and has other sharp edges. I will go in with more beads later to round out and make everything all smooth. This is how the bottom of the dress looks after 3 months. I really like how the bottom is turning out. It kind of looks like sand on a beach with all the different seashells. At the end, I will show you the top of the dress. I do wish my gradients were a little nicer, but for my first attempt, I'm very happy with how the dress turned out. Let's take a break from beading and move over to the wig making. For the wig cap, I am using a mesh fabric and a little bit of PVA glue. Underneath the fabric, there is cling film as well. Once the wig cap is dry, we're going to start on the wefts. For the wefts, I'm going to be using this Marley braiding hair. I'm going to cut each strand in half, and we're going to use hot glue. I'm putting the hot glue down on a silicone mat first. Then I am putting the weft onto the glue and taking a silicone spatula just to smooth it. In my opinion, this makes the wefts as thin as possible and eliminates the bunching on the wig. When the glue is cooled down, I'm just going to use my scissors just to cut down the wefts to the right size. Starting in the back of the head, I'm going to go row by row using hot glue again to glue the hair to the wig cap. I am showing the process of how to make the wig. This, however, is not the final wig she ends up with. But I still wanted to show the process of how I made this wig because I did make the other wig off camera. I do still love this wig, so hopefully in the future I can recycle it for another doll. Using the nozzle on my hot glue gun, I'm just going to smooth the top layer of each of the wefts to make sure it's even more flush with the top of the head. This is how the wig looks with all of the wefts put in place. They look like really pretty wicks right now, but we're going to turn these wicks into bubble braids. For the bubble braids, I'm just using standard black elastics. Because she has dark hair, I think it's better to use a black elastic instead of the clear. The clear kind of stands out a little bit. And I'm going to repeat this all the way through every wick of hair. And we're just going to repeat this process for every lock of hair. For the face, in true Moonlight Jewel fashion, we had to add pearly shimmers. Because she's such a deep skin tone, I thought the gold shimmers looked really nice on her face. And we're just going to use our brush just to diffuse the gold. After spraying her face with Mr. Super Clear, we're going to start on her contour. For her contour, I'm using a mix of pastels and also some eyeshadows. For deeper skin tones, you're going to focus a lot on her highlights than you are on her shadows. Focusing on highlights will give a deeper dimension to darker skin tones. I am showing the full process of this face up. However, this is not the first face up I did for her, and this is not the last. She gets about 5 different face ups just because the sealant does not adhere to the face properly. And that is due to the oil that I put on her face at the beginning. So again, do not oil her face if you're trying to do any type of Mr. Super Clear. But here I am just showing the process of how to do her face. So I'm going in with a light peach tone and just painting in her waterlines. This is my first ever 4-eyed face up. I have done a bunch of 3-eyed face ups in the past, but finding the symmetry is very hard. Now I'm gonna add blush and her highlights. For blush on deeper skin tones, I do like a purple blush. I feel like that just highlights the cheekbones a lot better. Because her ears and eyes are all pointed upward, I feel the blush looks better around her temples than it would around her cheeks. This is how the second face up turned out. Again, this is not going to be her final look, but I am very happy the way this looks. For the eyeliner and for her lips, I'm using this color by the Lip Bar. This is one of my favorite actual lipsticks, but I just use it for the vibrant red on the doll repaints that I do. I have been using this lip product since 2019. I found them at Afropunk back in 2019, and now they're in stores like Walmart and Target if you're in the States. There's a huge range of colors, and I'm not sponsored by them, but I just really like their colors. I did go to school to be a makeup artist, and I used the dolls as a smaller scale practice for my craft. I do use a lot of real makeup on my dolls just because I did go to school to be a makeup artist. And this is just a way to practice my craft on a smaller scale. All of the makeup that I use on my dolls I do not use on my own skin. Keeping it separate makes it so that my skin oils don't mix onto the doll's skin, and it will make it so that the Mr. Super Clear will still adhere properly. I did add the lashes off camera. They are just normal false lashes. And then I made these eyes off camera as well. This is the first time I am seeing her with eyes in. I think they are so pretty. If you want a tutorial on how I do my eyes, let me know in the comments below. Her shoes were very hard to make, so I did them off camera as well. Because she came with 2 sets of feet, I did glue these shoes onto the feet. So if I wanted to change her shoes, I'll just change them to her flat feet. But I'm using copper wire and freshwater pearls and Swarovski crystals in the very last of the Viking knit to make the shoes. Now the shoes are the last item for this doll. So we're gonna get her all dressed up and then we'll do final reveals. Here you can see she got an entirely new wig, but I think this one fits her a lot better. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.